Hey, what's up guys? David Johnston here, and today I'm going to tell you the one thing that I found that instantly improved my travel photography. Alright everybody, David Johnston here, coming to you from Brussels, Belgium. Pretty cool city to visit, but I was trying to get photographs, especially right now, today, and my previous trip a couple days ago. I was up in Amsterdam, and I was trying to get the best travel photographs I could get when I kept coming across an issue. All I was doing was coming up to an obvious photograph and taking it and moving on. Well, how do you take more interesting compositions when you're traveling around and you're kind of pressed for time, you're working with available light? How do you go about creating this more interesting photograph that you can? The number one thing that I found to instantly improve my travel photographs was the fact that place matters. Where you are matters, and the details in the place matter the most. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, there are obvious situations. So take a look at this photograph that I took from a canal, the bridge on a canal in Amsterdam, that shows the overall scene. You have the classic Amsterdam houses going down the sides of the canals, but that's kind of like all there is. It's a fine photograph and it shows the place that you're in, and you kind of have a story to tell along with it, but it's not really that interesting, and it's not really that good, to be honest. How do you make it that much better? Well, look at the exact same place when I back up a little bit and add a detail of Amsterdam into the foreground. Bang! Instantly you see a better composition and a better photograph with just this bicycle in the foreground that shows you, hey, Amsterdam is full of bikes, full of bicyclists. Why not add that place detail into the photograph, into the foreground, to make it that much more interesting? It instantly improves the overall photograph and the overall look of the photograph for the better. I have tons of examples like this. So for another example, take a look at this building that actually is right behind me in the square in Brussels, Belgium. And it's a photograph of the old bread house here. Cool building, awesome shot, easy to photograph, just your standard building. How do you make it that much more interesting? Well, when I was working and coming up with these ideas while sitting in Starbucks in the square, I actually looked up and saw the very top of this building coming through a little triangle window through the banister on Starbucks. And I backed up actually through the window and shot this through the window and the tower in this little triangle composition. Makes it a lot more interesting. You always need to be looking for these little details of photographs to make your travel photographs more appealing and more interesting, showing details of the country and where you are or whatever you are doing attached to them. Even still, here's another example of the photograph of the same place. Even though I was backed up, walking through an alleyway, there are little archways in the alleyway, and you could easily see the exact same building through this archway and be able to shoot it that way. Here's another example of shooting through a window and adding details, backing up into the courtyard of the town hall in Brussels, Belgium here. I actually shot the exact same building through a doorway and added details on either side of the photograph for kind of like this leading line into the building, kind of making it look like you're standing in this archway, actually looking at the building in the same place I was at. So these details are especially important whenever you're going around shooting commonly photographed places and looking to add detail to your place that you're actually visiting. So I want to share one more example of this, and this one is actually from Amsterdam again. There's a place called Johnston that a lot of people go to get away from the city. Has a ton of these old windmills, awesome landscape photograph spot at sunset or sunrise. Really cool place to visit. I highly recommend it. But how do you make it interesting? Well, you walk around the path to get other details to that. You walk around and kind of see, where else can I go to get a different angle or get a different foreground into it. And this is what I found when I simply just walked another 400 feet or so to photograph the exact same windmill that's in the sequence, the second one down in the sequence, just shot it by itself with a better foreground, with better details of the place. You have nice tall grasses in the foreground that are illuminated by the setting sun. Awesome way to walk around to photograph specific objects with details of place in the photograph as well. So next time you're out traveling, really think about what these look like. Think about, what am I photographing and how can I add details of place into it? Learn about the country you're in, walk around, spend more time in locations, navigating ways to create better compositions and add better details of place within those compositions, and you'll instantly get better travel photographs that will hold the interest of people better and make you a better travel photographer and a better photographer overall, because these are techniques that you can pull into other parts of photography like landscape or portraits. So follow these rules and you'll instantly be a more creative, more thoughtful photographer in the future. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up below or hit the subscribe button.